Welcome back to the Glow Up Girl podcast. I am Kyra Mitchell-Lewis, and today I'm so excited to be joined by Sandra Hay, A.K.A. the Love Coach. Sandra is on a mission to bring more love into the world. She specializes in helping single women to find their Mr. Right by using her signature love potion, which is a mix of soul, mindset, emotion, and action. So welcome, Sandra, to the Glow Up Girl podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure being here with you. And hi to everyone who is listening.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and dive in because I think before people understand how you can help them, it's really important that they get to know you and learn more about your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will share a little bit from the beginning, let's say in terms of beginning of my love life, which wasn't very successful at the beginning. Let's call it like that. So I was one of those women that was attracting all the wrong guys who don't want to commit, guys who always look for something casual. And I was that person who looked like for that love story, for romantic love, for really true love, companionship, partnership, something really committed and something really deep. And I was getting complete opposite. So I tried, of course, offline dating, online dating, all sorts of dating, and none of that was working. Especially when I tried online dating, it's like you have, this menu with all these different guys, and it looks so easy at the beginning. Like, okay, I have opportunity to meet more people, but it gets more frustrating because you get to meet more people, and none of them is that person that you are looking for. So at some point, I was like, no more. And it didn't come just like that. It came after some experience with it. And I was like, no more. This has to change. And at that point, I absolutely stopped dating completely. I didn't know what I will do, where I will start, but I just knew I had to figure it out. And I had that such, like when you have that strong decision and commitment to make things happen. So at that time, as I have said, I stopped dating. And I started working on myself. So when you put that intention and decision and commitment, paths start showing in front of you. So it all led me to inwards. It led me to my confidence, to self-love, to mindset. It really led me to work on myself on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. On all levels, I was working on myself. And in 6 months of that work, which I now call real work, I was able to lose 50 pounds. That was one thing. First win. Second win, I went back to online dating and I met the person who is my husband now. And it was so interesting because when I went to online dating, it was so different because right now I knew what I want. I knew who I am and that I'm worthy of everything that I want. And basically in 2 weeks of that kind of dating, I met a guy. And he was the only person I went on a date with. And I'm like, could it be this easy? Like, really? What I was doing all these years before. And after that, of course, I started helping my friends and I realized that it's really working and that it can help women. So I shifted from my career as a pharmacist that I was before to really helping women to love themselves, to find their love, to really find their love story, the one that they are dreaming of and the one that they are meant for. So yeah, that is how I became love coach. And now I'm helping women all over the world find their love.
Awesome. I think you said something really, really key is that, you started to work on yourself and you were intentional about it. So probably, you going back into online dating the second time, you knew what you wanted and you knew your worth and your value.
Absolutely.
And so then you were not willing to accept any of those people that had come before your husband. So let's talk about your journey of to self-love. What did that look like for you? Because as we were just sort of talking before we got started here, that yes, it's a word that you hear. It's sort of a buzzword that you hear out there today. So what journey did you take?
Well, I really like that you picked on that word intention because right now we don't live in information age anymore. We live in intention age, because informations are available and everything is available out there. Whatever you want is available, but it's such huge overwhelm of everything out there that we really have to put intention on what is it that I truly want. And working with so many women, in so many cases, women don't know what they want because somewhere along the lines they got disconnected from it. We started living our parents' desires, our friends' desires, our community desires, that we got disconnected from what I want. And when I put intention on living somebody else's life and somebody else's desire, that cannot lead me to my happiness, because my happiness comes from me living my desires and what I really want and what I'm meant for, right? So I think that was the first piece, really realizing who you are and what you want. Journey to who you are, it's long, and I'm still on that journey, definitely. But journey towards what you want, we all know it. Deep down, we all know it. And sometimes we are so disconnected that it takes us a while to get there, to see what is it that I want. But sometimes you can really stop and look inside and you can see what is it that you want. If you are unhappy, you can see what makes you happy, and that's it. That is your desire. That is your path. So I think that first part of really getting what is it that you want, what is it that you desire, is the first thing. And for me, that is like foundation of self-love. When I talk about self-love, I always talk about love on different levels, and that is spiritual level, mental level, emotional, and physical level. So unfortunately, right now, that is a buzzword, as you said, because we mainly consider that as physical level in terms of self-care. Let me go to the spa. Let me do mani-pedi. And it's all that is perfect, and I love it, and I do it, and it brings us to present moment. But that is just a tip of the iceberg. If you don't know further than that, you are missing the point, basically, because we have all of these different levels to love ourselves. So when we talk about spiritual levels, I always start with desire, because our true desire comes from our spirit. And when we are in that level, we really feel joy, we feel love, we feel appreciation and peace. So that is that first thing. After that, when it comes to self-love, we have to go to mental level and realize, what is our mindset? Do I see myself as worthy? Do I believe that what I want is meant for me? Do I really believe that everything that I want is possible for me? So that is that mental level, to love ourselves enough to realize that we are worthy. We are that spiritual being who is worthy of everything. And sometimes our thoughts and our mind is in our way to getting there, to realizing who we truly are. And after that, we are going to our emotional level, where we are really seeing what are our emotions first towards myself. How do I feel about myself? Because I was overweight all my life. And for me, that was huge hindrance, because that really lowered my self-esteem. My confidence was so low that even when I go out dating, with that low confidence, I'm always thinking, am I good enough for this guy? Even though I don't really like him that much, I'm more focused on, will he like me than will I like him? Just because, we are stuck in these emotions. All of that is very connected, but these emotions of low confidence, low self-esteem, low self-love can really hinder us from going where we want to go. And at the end is that physical level, and really taking care of ourselves physically. So for me, really self-love is that holistic approach, approaching yourself from all of these levels and loving yourself in every single aspect, loving mistakes that you've done in the past, loving everything, having compassion for yourself, and really realizing what I do is enough, and I am enough, and I'm worthy, and that's it. Like, I am worthy just because I am. I don't need validation. I don't need approval. That's it.
You said a lot. There were a lot of great nuggets in what you just said, but I definitely agree with you. I think two things that stood out was women feeling worthy. And a lot of times, things of the past, still stick to us as women. And like you said, even with your weight, I think that, people, I've all my life all of my adult life probably been up and down, up and down. But I mean, and at this point, I make a conscious effort to just be healthy. Like, I work out every day, I'm trying to work out like 2 to 3 times a day now that I'm at home, So I've had this time, and it's like, it's not so much about as trying to drop pounds and be thinner. It's about being healthy. And it's
Yeah.
about, but I think that it's so interesting because I was actually sort of flipping back through some old photos of when I was probably in my 20s, and I was like, wow, it's so funny how I thought like I was fat then. And I told myself, like, oh my God, girl, you got to lose weight. But I think that is these, these stigmas attached, and they just continue to come up in our head. I mean, which is sort of really self-doubt, as you start on a journey, because like I've been walking this journey of just evolving over the last year with, with my mind, with my body, and trying to take care of this temple that I've been given. And I think, like you said, there are moments of, self-doubt that creep in that says, oh yeah, yeah, you might do da da da, but it all comes back to our worth and our value and how we see ourselves. So what advice do you give to women who may be on that journey and they get hit that roadblock that's like, oh no, remember, you're going to always go back to X, or you're going to go back to this, or you're not worthy, you're not valuable. How did you deal with that? How do you deal with that?
Mm. Well, I think that that is a fear of not being worthy is intrinsic fear to all of us. And I feel that every fear at the end goes there, because the more I work with women, I can see in each and every one of them on some level, they believe they are not worthy of what they want. That's why they are not getting it. So if we would get that sense of I am worthy, that is when everything opens for you, because you can get only what you believe in. You cannot get more than that. So if you believe that you are not worthy, unfortunately, you will never be able to get what you want, no matter how many dates, guys, action you take, because your mind is creating that upper limit for yourself, and that is it. So for me, that sense of worthiness is always connected again from our spirit, because if I realize who I am spiritual being who is having this experience. As a spiritual being, I am worthy of everything. That's it. So if we come back to that truth of who we truly are, there is no doubt that we are worthy. So if we know that, that is the first step. And after that, we have to remove that mental fog that we created. Is that from our parents, from our school, from our friends? Because usually it's in our childhood that we were told that we are not worthy on some level. Maybe some experience happened and we made it mean that we are not worthy. Because as a kid, you make everything about you. You are the center of the universe. So whatever happens is about you. If it's something good, it's because I am good. If it's something bad, it is because I am bad. There is no other distinction for us. So for example, if your, I don't know, father was drinking when you are a kid, you don't think about, okay, he's adult, he has a problem, maybe he's depressed. No, you are thinking, I am a bad person. That's why my father doesn't love me and doesn't give me enough attention. So when we remove all these beliefs, all this mental fog, or all that we picked up somewhere along the way, when we remove all that, these mental basically blocks that we are having, that is when we really can feel the truth, because there are different levels of knowing. We can know something intellectually, like, okay, intellectually, I know that I'm worthy, I'm a spiritual being, I'm worthy, that's it. But if I don't live it, and if I don't feel it, that means I don't know it on all levels. So really understanding that is the first, but then feeling that in your body, it's that level of, yes, I am truly worthy. When you feel that in your body, that is your truth, and that is how you are creating your reality. So we always have to take that holistic approach. As I have said before, we have to work on all different levels to get to that truth and to really believe that we are worthy. So for me, there is no like, oh, we are working on this is one shift that we are making. This holistic approach, because again, we are all different. Somebody will have blocks on their mental level, but somebody will on emotional levels. Sometimes we have to remove some emotions from the past that are blocking us, right? So for example, somebody felt had past experiences in relationship, that they felt a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of blame, a lot of hatred, a lot of insecurities, then we have to also remove all of these things. So it's really, for me, that holistic approach, working on all of these different levels, not to know something new, not to get something new, but just to remove everything that we learned along the way that disconnected us from our truth.
Yes. And also grace, giving yourself grace, because
absolutely,
women just do not. I mean, we'll give grace to everybody else and say, oh, yeah, I mean, I understand this person needs, but we are the hardest on ourselves all the time. And it's just from the smallest thing to the largest thing, just from even in our everyday, like professional lives. Oh, I didn't get that assignment done. And, it's like the end of the world. And it's like, no, like, give yourself some grace. And it definitely have been working on that. And I think even just being home in this pandemic has really helped me, because before I was on like 120 all the time. And if I couldn't get something done, I would stay up all night to do it. I would stay super late at work, be super early, and now it's like, look, like you have this one life, and I want to make sure that I am very intentional about how I live and how I take care of me, how I give back to others. But in that same way of showing compassion for other people, that I'm going to also be compassionate to myself, because I'm doing the best I can. Like, I mean, I truly believe like when you're doing the best you can, but I also agree that you have to do the self-work as well. So like for me, like, I mean, I started therapy probably a year ago, and I talk a lot about this on this show. So everybody who comes in, I'm very much a mental health advocate. And I think that it's important to deal with past issues, because it's almost impossible to be your very best self for someone, or to bring love into your life if you're still holding on. It's also impossible almost to welcome a program like yours and fully be able to embrace that in all those pieces and parts, like you said, when you're still holding on to the past. So I think it's so important for people to be able to take that time and stop and think about, like you said, what do you really want? What do you want from this life? Be intentional about it and go after it.
Oh, I mean, that is so beautiful that you shared. I really love that. I mean, that piece that we are so hard on ourselves, that is like, I mean, I still didn't meet a person who were not hard on themselves, and we wear it like a badge of honor, like I am my biggest critic. Like, why be your biggest fan? Why would you be your biggest critic? But that is really, I always remind women, I mean, this is really simple exercise that anyone can implement. So if you are listening now, please just try training your brain like this. So just start listening how you are talking to yourself. When you do something that you consider a mistake or wrong or whatever, just listen how you talk to yourself, and then imagine saying these same words to somebody that you really love, like your sister, your mother, your brother, your best friend, somebody that you really love. Would you really say that? Like, I remember myself before when I would make mistake, oh my goodness, you are so stupid, how you are behaving like that. And I'm imagining saying that to my mom, like, no way, like I would never do that. But we are treating ourselves as somebody that like has to be treating so harshly. At the same time, we are capable of love and compassion because we are giving it to everyone. So now is the time to really start giving that to ourselves.
Yeah, it's like we're not a punching bag for ourselves. So stop punching yourselves. And I think that too, dealing with negative self-talk is also so important, because I love the example you just gave. I mean, and I think that anybody who is out there listening, yes, apply that. Think about it. Would you say that to your sister? Would you say it to your mom? Would you say those same things that you're saying to yourself? It's okay to be compassionate and give yourself that same grace. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
so important. It's so important. That is self-love.
that
and,
is self-love.
and
That
yeah,
is self-love.
and
That
that's
I
self.
know that I have human experience and mistakes are part of evolution. And that's it.
Yes.
I made mistake. I learned from it. I let it go.
Yes.
And I have
Yes.
compassion for myself. Okay, I've done something that is not up to my standards. Why did I do that? What I can learn from it. That's great. Remind yourself you are a human being, you are making mistakes, and guess what? You will be making many more. So
Right.
learn how to treat yourself
Yes.
with kindness and love, and
Yeah.
just learn from your mistakes and move on. Because
Yep.
I feel that we are the only ones who are so holding on to some. I mean, I don't even like word mistakes because I don't believe that mistakes exist, but I'm just sharing that here so people would understand.
Yeah.
Just when we would see that, we are the ones who are holding on to that the most, not anyone else. So just let
Yeah.
it go. And your future is not your past. Your past is there to
Yes.
learn and to move on and to create that beautiful future that you are here to create.
Yes. Yes, sister. So let's talk about how you have taken all of that into your relationship, into your, well, dating before he became your husband. How did you take all these new learnings and all of this process into your relationship?
Absolutely. So I would just create a little comparison because before I've done all this inner work, I was like chronic people pleaser, like just give to
Mm,
others the most that you can, make them feel the most comfortable, don't seem too demanding and too needy, and just give, give, give. And,
mm,
basically you are putting everyone else before yourself. So when I've done this work, I learned that first of nobody will treat me any way different but the way that I teach them, and I am teaching
yes.
them by me treating myself. There is no other way. So when I started treating myself differently, with respect, with love, with compassion, with kindness, that is how you are training everyone else to
Yes.
behave towards you. So if I love myself, that is the only way other people will love me and realize that I deserve that. Because if I don't, I'm teaching others that I am able and I'm willing to tolerate less than that.
Right.
So this is just a little comparison to see how we can behave in one way or other way, and it's up to us to choose. So even remember, this was such a little difference. But for example, even when I went on a first date with my husband, like before it would be like always, oh, stay as long as guy is staying, respect him more, be very easygoing, and like these things. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm like, oh, it's 10 o'clock, I have to go to sleep.
Right.
So I mean that
Yeah.
is such a simple thing, but just because
Yeah.
during these months I really love getting up early, going to bed at certain time, I really make myself priority. Then
Mhm.
he was like, oh, of course, I mean, absolutely. And
Yeah.
you see, like, people treat you in different way. That is such a little thing,
Yes.
but you see, I still remember it because for me it
Mm-hmm.
was huge because I've never done it before. Before it would be like, yeah, we can stay longer if you want, or we can leave if
Right.
everything is everything is
Yep.
the way that you want. No, now I create my reality, and now things are the way that I want. And it doesn't mean I'm selfish and I don't care about anyone else. It
Right.
just means that I take care of myself, because if I don't, nobody else will.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. To
Yeah.
all those things, because what you said. I mean, it's prioritizing yourself, and I'm glad that you told that story, because I mean that was exactly me. Probably a year ago.
Yeah.
Going into therapy, feeling so overwhelmed, and oh my gosh, so many people are counting on me. I can't let people down, but really just not having boundaries and not teaching people how to treat me was the
Absolutely.
problem. And once you change that and you start to draw those boundaries and you start to put you first, and people start to take notice. I joke, and my therapist and I joke a lot about this, that it's like you're on this train, and it's either people can get on with you for the growth, or they're going to get left behind. because
Mhm.
that's it's just as simple as that. And I mean, I know saying it's simple, but it's not. It takes a lot of work, and there are times where you backslide and you have to come back. And but it's one of those things, like you said, something that small can be so impactful, just saying no to something that you would have normally in the past just said yes to.
Absolutely. I mean, there is this saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you start
Hmm.
sleeping with small things, that means that you will sleep with big things as well. So for me,
Exactly.
really taking care of myself starts with that simple detail. And then when it comes to big thing, already taking care of me is my habit. So I know what decision I will make with ease.
Hmm.
So I feel that distinction, prioritizing yourself, was like, for me, was really, really huge part. And
Yeah.
then when you take that into relationship, that is when you can give somebody. So like, you cannot give anyone unless you have something. Like, if you need a glass of water, I cannot give you if I don't have, right?
Exactly.
The same thing, if I don't have love inside, I cannot give you, even if I want. Like, that's why
Right.
women get so depleted and so
Hmm.
frustrated in relationships, because they give, and there is
Yeah.
nothing inside. And we don't realize, because there is nothing inside, then we are frustrated and nervous, and that affects relationship. But
Hmm.
when I take care of me, that means that love is overflowing. Love is in
Yes.
abundance. Love is everywhere, and I can give you as much as you want, because I have as much as I need and I want. And that
Exactly.
is where a relationship is thriving, not romantic relationship, but every relationship. Because
Hmm.
when I'm happy, when I'm taken care of, when I'm joyful, when I'm kind to myself, that is when I can give all of that to you and to everyone else,
Right.
because
Yeah.
love multiplies. It's not like I have certain amount and I have to be very stingy with
Yeah.
it. No, it
You're
just
like, I've
multiplies.
got 1/3 for you, and I've got 2/3 over here.
But yes, when you don't take care of yourself, it feels like lack. It feels like I
Yeah.
have this finite amount of love and care, and,
Yes.
and I have to be very, very
Yep.
rational with it. So I
Yeah.
feel that filling your cup, filling yourself, taking care of you, it is what benefits the relationship the most.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. Think, yep, I love that. So, talk about for any woman who may be out there now and saying, "Oh my God, I want some of this potion. I need to get the signature potion." Talk about the different programs that you offer that someone might be able to work with you.
Yeah. Well, I would just say a little bit about framework that I'm working off and that
Okay.
all my programs are based on. So basically, I shared it here. It's very holistic, and it really starts with this desire that you have and what is it that you truly want. So for me, that is the first step, because then we have direction, then we have what will fulfill you, then we have what is it
Mhm.
that, like, where you are moving in your life and what you are consciously and intentionally creating. So
Mhm.
for me, the only reason why you don't have your desire is because you are not vibrationally on the level of that desire. So the second part is bringing you up to that vibration of desire, bringing you in alignment with your desire. That is that internal work of confidence, self-love, self-worth, mindset, whatever it is. So we are removing everything that is blocking us, and we are bringing that vibration to the level of your desire. And it looks differently for every woman, because we all have different experiences. So that's completely customized approach that we are doing. And then when you are on the same level and aligned with your desire, then everything is mechanics. That is dating, putting yourself out there, opening up to receive love, deepening your femininity. So that is easy part, because you are already on level of your desire, and then you know that between you and that desire is only time, and we are taking
Mhm.
action. We are dating, online dating, whatever it is that you feel guided towards, and that is the work that we are doing. So all my programs are having all or some of these elements here. So for example, my longest program is 3 months, where we are really doing all this approach from the beginning, from desire, alignment with
Mhm.
desire, confidence, self-love, mindset, and at the end, dating and putting yourself out there. Then I have 1 month program, which is mainly focused on this middle part of really bringing that confidence and self-love up. that is such a crucial bit, because some women are very clear on what they want and what they are working towards, and they really need to work on that part so they can bring themselves up vibrationally and really take care of themselves, bring that confidence, build that self-love, have that self-esteem that is necessary to attract person that they want. And also the last program that I'm having are intensives, that is like just one session. And basically in this session, whatever person needs specifically working on. Some people need help with online dating. Some people need with removing some blocks from the past. Some people need getting in tune with their desires. It really depends on you and what is it that you currently need in your life. So it's all around the same framework. And then we are having these bits and pieces depending on what is it that you need right now in this moment.
Awesome. I love that. Sounds like an amazing program. And I think that I'm very thankful that you have been willing to share so much about the framework and what I would say, for lack of a better word, the ingredients of your program, because
these are ingredients. That is like the love potion.
Yes.
So you need love potion for yourself, and then everything flows in your love life.
Everything else will come.
Absolutely.
No, this is great. So, all right. So I like to do this thing with like 5 things. So 5 things with Sandra today. So I'm going to ask you 5 quick questions and just to see. So 1, what's your favorite ways to show your self-love?
To show my self-love. I do that every single day. The moment that I get up, I do my meditation, visualization, reading, working out, and journaling. So every morning, basically, I would say 1.5 hours first is dedicated to me and really taking care of myself on all of these different levels that we discussed.
Awesome. Second, favorite date night activity?
Date night activity. Oh, there are so many. Let me see which one is favorite. What is my favorite for date nights, if possible? Unfortunately, now in pandemic, it's not, but going some new place and exploring some new things. So that would be my number one. If I can choose. But right now in pandemic, that's not fair, because unfortunately there are not new places that we can go.
So date nights in the house.
Date night in the house. So for me, that is really creating this space for you and your husband or your person. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy, anything extravagant, but it can go from dressing up nicely, setting up a nice dinner for you, nice drink, nice music, just really dedicating this time for only you. No phones, no distractions of any kind. It's just you and your person. And then everything else is there like extra. Is it a champagne or wine or dinner or whatever you choose to, but just creating this space for both of you.
Yes.
And it's really, in pandemic, it's so easy to do, but just as we said, it requires little intention of really putting this relationship as your priority. So since very beginning, me and my husband, Tuesdays are date nights, and that's it. So that is priority. And we do that every week, no matter if we are traveling, even when we were apart. I will go somewhere, he will go somewhere. We are having date night even when we are apart.
I love that. I love it. Okay, so what's one positive affirmation you say to yourself daily?
I can do, be, and have anything I desire.
Awesome. And we sort of talked about a little bit, but my last question is, how do you start and end your day?
Yeah, well, I start day, I just said here, with meditation, visualization, reading, journaling, and working out. And I end day, I don't have any night practice, but I always end day doing something with my husband. Is that just talk, or we are watching something, or we always end night together in some way. Sometimes it's just reading or doing something like that, but it's always 2 of us doing something together.
Awesome. So what is next for you, Sandra? What are you working on?
Well, I'm very focused on my current business, my coaching business. And what I'm looking for is expansion in terms of really reaching more women and really teaching them these principles, because I know how life-changing they are. So what I'm looking for now are more connections, more interviews, more press, more of platforms and being seen so I can spread my message. My mission is to
Yes.
bring more love into the world.
Yeah.
And I feel that I was hiding a lot, that
Mm-hmm.
like keeping it very small, keeping it very safe. But now it's my time to step on the stage and
That's
really
right.
share this message with everyone who needs to hear it.
Yes, yes, yes. So tell everybody how they can find you in order to help you share and get that message
Absolutely,
out.
absolutely. So everybody, you can find me on social media like everyone else. I'm on Instagram. My favorite is Instagram, at the Sandra Hay. On Facebook, the same is the Sandra Hay. You can find my website if you need more information. That is sandrahay.com. And for everyone for every single woman out there who is really intentional about working on her love life, I would really like to offer a free call. And that is basically a call where you and I are working on removing everything that is stopping you from finding your Mr. Right and crafting a plan how to get there. So it's absolutely for free. It's 30 minutes and we will get you to a place where you are taking action confidently and moving towards the man that you desire. So if you want us, we can leave links here or
Yes,
something like that. That would be great. I think that's the greatest
yes.
present to everyone, because for me that one-on-one connection and really customizing approach is where the juice is and the magic is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome. No, I love that. Well, Sandra, it has been absolute pleasure speaking with you today. And I wish you all the success in the world. And I think that what your message of love in not only yourself, but just helping people too to find true companionship is amazing. And we definitely need more of that today.
Thank you so much for having me here. It was such pleasure talking to you. I mean, I absolutely enjoy having these conversation with women just like you, that we are on the same page, that we are on the same journey. Our journeys might look a bit different, but at
Yeah.
the core they are the same. They are about serving, about contribution, and really about helping people. So I want to thank you for really doing this and creating, first of all, this platform, but then also creating your mission and moving forward. So that's great. And also thank you so much for having me here. It was such pleasure talking to you today.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. Stay tuned, guys. I'll be right back.